So you have to learn how to look at them. And you usually do not look them in the eyes. Too threatening, it's too stressful. You have to look above their eyes or below their eyes because it softens your look. You may want to look them in the eyes after you finish your statement, but never look them in the eyes, look up here or down here, because it's softer and it's less stressful on them. And make your sentences short. Don't make a long sentence and say and, da-da-da-da-da, and da-da-da-da, and you're going on and on and on with a lot of buts and nuts and all kind of stuff. You might as well be in your own ass all that long. So you want to make your sentences short and maybe use 3 or 4 at a time, but never go longer than that. And they are into what we call random thinking, which is a slow thinking process, which you call today multitasking, but technically that's called random thinking, where they just read a little bit of this book, watch a little bit of that station, listen to a little bit of that song, write a little bit of homework. You're doing all this at one time, what you call multitasking, but what you call random thinking, which means a person learns at a very slow process. They process information very slow. It looks like they're doing a lot of stuff, but they're doing it very slow. They read one page, do this and this and that, and they come back 5 minutes later, read the next page, which means they're reading at a slower pace. A person that reads at a fast pace can sit down and read the whole damn book at one time. That person can read fast, but they cannot hold that much information at one time. That's why they have to multitask. Their nervous system is weak. They chemically have been altered. So you have to jump around in your conversation. You have to have a random conversation with them. You can say, I would like for you to wash the dishes. Did you notice the weather? Jump all the fuck... excuse me. Sorry, I went ghetto fabulous there. Just kind of jump around. So you have to practice this stuff because you're not into talking to chemical people. So it's best for you to get a cassette player and tape your conversation. So you'll know when you're getting very abrasive with your words. To you, you're not getting abrasive because you're just used to listening to yourself. So you got to know when you're getting abrasive and offensive and practice your whole conversation before you come out with the thing. Because you have to upgrade your skills. I'm trying to upgrade you. You're running on Windows 92. I mean, it ain't working. So I'm trying to upgrade this whole approach to talking here. And remember that a person that's been chemically altered, especially a child, and they play in this room all day, and the light's always on in the hall. And this day, start playing in the room, and the light isn't on in the hall, they're going to go into a spastic. They're going to go into a nerve spasm. They're going to start throwing stuff around. You say, what's wrong with them? Because you messed up the whole sequence. See, they're used to a schedule, a rhythm, and you messed up the rhythm. Rhythm is established in the mother's womb. That's when the rhythm is great. And now you got this whole other rhythm. You altering rhythm. You're not seeing it as rhythm. You're just seeing it as the light off. But that just threw off every damn thing for them. Little things like that because they have inability to focus. They can hear a noise outside and lose all attention from what you're saying. Really, just one little plane going by, they lost. They come back to you and you said, didn't you hear me? You say, yeah, I heard you. And the train go by, they lost again. They can't focus that well. That's why you got to jump around. So you won't be so stressful when you talk to them. And you have to practice this stuff. Nonetheless, these are a lot of, I have it on this tape called How to Talk to and Control Teenagers. I go through the whole step of how you talk to them, how you get their attention, how you jump around, how you trap them. You have to know how to trap them in a conversation. I mean, sometimes you run out of juice of how to control this person. So when you run out of juice of how to control them, you flip the blame. You say, you should have washed the dishes, but maybe it's the way I said it that caused you not to wash the dishes. So you're blaming yourself. Then you switch it around. But you know you should have washed the dishes even though I didn't ask you. Then they say, oh, yes, right. Then you flip it back around. But then you just keep flipping around, confuse the hell out of them, and then leave the room. Then you go in your room and just think about how the hell to control this fool. See, that's buying you time. You got to know these tactics. So I run down all these tactics on how to confuse their ass so you can buy some time. Because they know that when you initiate discipline, you got to monitor discipline. So every time they mess up, you come up with another rule. Mess up, and you got all these rules you got to monitor, and meanwhile they wearing your ass out. So the rules work for their favor. So now they're using the rules to manipulate you. Now you all tired, now they can have their way. That's why they were messing up all along. Wear your ass out. You see, you got to know all of these things. So I run down all these processes of how to manipulate rules, how to manipulate them, confuse the hell out of them, buy some time, go in your room and plot some shit on them. You got to know these kind of things. It's on the tape. It's about a 2-hour tape. It's not a big issue. Once you learn it, you got it. But you have to see this process of how it works. You have to understand that this whole thing is about planning. You looking at basketball, you looking at football, and you think it's a game. That's not a game. That's about planning. Every time they make a play, they make a plan. Even if the plan works, they still get in the huddle and make a plan. Even if something that works, they make a plan. When they mess up, they make a plan. When they don't mess up, they make a plan. And you got a plan. You say, okay, if I give them a reward and I don't have a punishment, I'm setting myself up for manipulation. Every time you give them a reward, you got to have a punishment or don't give the reward. You're setting yourself up for manipulation. Because the thing you have to understand about children, I'm up north now. The thing you have to understand about children is they are conscious of their needs. All they're thinking about for 24 hours is how to get their needs met. From the warden. From you. For 24 hours, they're only thinking about their needs. For 24 hours, you're thinking about the bills, going to work, dinner. See, you're split. But for 24 hours, all they're thinking about is how can I get my needs met out of this sucker and get the money out their pocket. That's it. Therefore, you are set up for manipulation. That's why you got to know how to plot on them, just like they plot on you. They call them and say, I did this to my mother, and that's how I got out. They calling up each other. I'm telling you. So you got to start plotting too. And so I run all this stuff down. So you have to know how to do this stuff. What we call manipulation and control. What you call getting along with each other. All you have to remember is everything is based on rewards and punishment. If you don't know how to manipulate that, you're out of the whole human game. You're in a relationship, you do something nice, you say, honey, thank you for doing that, and you give them a smile, that's a reward. You say, I don't like the way you do that. You give them a frown, that's a punishment. You're not looking at it that way, but the whole relationship is based on rewards and punishments. And I need some rewards my own self. I've been punished 3 times. 3 divorces. Say, guys. Bobby was my roommate. He's a nice guy, very sincere. I like him. So what we're talking about... Is there a fast way to lose weight? What we're talking about is there a fast way to lose weight. And the only thing you can lose fast is water. If you're losing weight fast, that's nothing but water. That's a problem. When you start losing weight, your body says, wait a minute, I've been eating all this pig feet, and now you're starving me, eating these sprouts and salads. So the body's going to start storing energy before you can use it. And you'll gain weight on a health food diet. You say, I'm eating properly, why am I gaining this weight? Because the body says, you're starving me, where's the pig feet? You see? So what we're talking about is, if you gain the weight sitting on your ass, lose the weight sitting on your ass. That's what I'm talking about. Don't say, I'm going to exercise and lose the weight. No, you gain the weight on your you gain the weight sitting down, so you should lose the weight sitting down. You see? Because when you stop exercising, you're going to gain the weight back. Oh, yeah. So the trick is to lose the weight the way you gain the weight. That's why I was saying first we take the crave less to shut down your craving for your junk food. Then we're going to increase the transit time of your food. How long it takes the food to enter your mouth and leave your anus, or ghetto, your ass. So, how we do that is we time your transit time by you eating a meal and you swallow the corn whole or the black beans whole, then look for it in your stool. And that tells you how long it took the food to leave your body. You see? We're going to time that first. So we're going to use things to keep that food moving. We're going to use something slimy, fenugreek seeds. Flaxseed meal, not the seeds, the meal, the powder made from the flax seeds. So we're looking at flaxseed meal. You can put fenugreeks in the blender and make them into a powder. We can use anything that's slimy to slip it out of your behind. And you're looking at taking about 4 to 6 tablespoons of this a day. You can put it in soup, sandwich, salad, smoothie, orange juice, grape juice. You just want to get it in your system. And it will help speed up the transit time. Crave less will shut down your craving. Now this works whether you're on junk food or health food.